Namaste, you're on the Nation at 5. I'm Anand Narasimhan, and we start with trouble brewing in the region, ladies and gentlemen, and it could have a spillover effect on what we will have to endure in India. Continuing its aggressive offensive against Taiwan, China has deployed a record 56 military warplanes into Taiwan's defense war space. While Taiwan warned China to stop its provocative actions to alter its status quo, the United States too chimed in, slamming China for undermining Taiwan's regional peace and stability. Taiwan has seen at least over 145 incursions by China since the beginning of October 2020, but the PLA claims the airfare is merely part of its expanded drills in the region.
Well, we remain concerned by the People's Republic of China's provocative military activity near Taiwan, which is destabilizing, risks miscalculations, and undermines regional peace and stability. We urge Beijing to cease its military, diplomatic, and economic pressure and coercion against Taiwan, and we have an abiding interest in peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait. That's why we will continue to assist Taiwan in maintaining a sufficient self-defense capability. We maintain our commitments as outlined in the 3 communiques, Taiwan Relations Act, and the 6 assurances. Our commitment to Taiwan is rock solid and contributes to the maintenance of peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait and within the region. We have been clear privately and publicly about our concern about the PRC's pressure and coercion toward Taiwan, and we will continue to watch the situation very closely.
一直穷兵黩武，破坏区域和平，并且很多恶法行径。中国这样的做法已经越来越被世界、被国际社会唾弃。
Joining us now is Sana Hashmi, visiting fellow Taiwan Asia Exchange Foundation. She's joining us from Taipei City in Taiwan. Sana, thank you very much for speaking with us. Now, how does Taiwan view this increasing, foray into Taiwanese airspace? This is not the international airspace of Taiwan that extends to about 12 nautical miles, but this is that air defense security zone. But this is where China has been increasingly trying to flex muscle.
It's a serious threat for Taiwan, and China's encroachment are getting frequent nowadays. It's not a new development, but the new development is that the frequency has increased. It's a cause of concern not only for Taiwan and its military, but for the wider region as well. And China's repeated encroachment into its ADIZ are direct challenges to Taiwan's sovereignty and their interest now. So I think what China is trying to do is it is trying to set up a pattern. And they're normalizing these incursions into Taiwan's ADIZ.
But how do you read this geopolitically? Is this China trying to tell Taiwan, don't assert your autonomy, don't try and engage with nations on your own, you continue to remain subservient to us?
There are several reasons behind this. It's not that simple. I think first is that they're of course trying to understand Taiwan's resolve and how prepared Taiwan is. Then if we look at the timings right now, it is between China's National Day, that was 1st October, and Taiwan's National Day, Double 10th, which is going to be on 10th October. So I think domestically as well, it says a lot. It wants to show to the domestic audience that it's not really forgetting about Taiwan when the international community is speaking about Taiwan. And then several like-minded countries have been speaking about Taiwan and supporting Taiwan. We saw US statement for Taiwan, and also Australia and Japan have been urging China to stop these incursions. Then apart from these major countries, we are also seeing that smaller European countries are favoring China. There are several vaccine donations that have been coming from all these small European countries. So I think that China is actually getting insecure about Taiwan. So its approach has actually changed from opposing independence, peaceful reunification, to actually intimidating Taiwan and threatening to use force against Taiwan.
But like you said, the CCP or the PLA is also perhaps trying to test not just Taiwan's resolve, but their own air capability, because that was seen to be a weak link for the Chinese military. Now, what has got to do with, is it only the 1st and the 10th of October? Or because since October last, if the numbers are correct, somewhere around 145 to 150, these kind of adventurism or incursions have happened. Is this bound to escalate, or is this going to remain at the same levels?
As in today, if you look at the number, that as of now, it's just one aircraft that encroached into Taiwan's airspace, and yesterday there was 56. So if you look at the pattern, in the past week, there have been more than 150 PLA aircraft encroachment into Taiwan's ADIZ. So I think it was about testing Taiwan's resolve. It doesn't. There is a realization that China also doesn't want to go for escalation. It wants to see how Taiwan and the international community is going to respond to it. So I think for the next few days, what we are going to see is that the level of escalation or the level of the intensity is going to go down. But we have to wait and watch. Taiwan's double 10th day is just around the corner, and countries are speaking for Taiwan. So we just have to wait and see if China is going to have the same kind of approach with respect to the encroachment into the ADIZ. But as far as I think it's just going to be low. And we are not going to see as many incursions in the next coming days.
Because China sometimes have made these off-the-cuff remarks. Say, Taiwan is no big deal. We can take over Taiwan whenever they want. Aside of the fact that they have never been able to rule Taiwan in all of CCP's history so far. And Taiwan's always remained democratic. The other aspect is there a shift in the engagement that Taiwan has had with the world, and especially the US and its allies, between Trump and Biden administration?
I think Taiwan's international standing has certainly increased. And what we have seen specifically since 2016, that China has been trying to poach Taiwan's allies and has been attempting to shrink its international space. But in my opinion, it hasn't had any impact on Taiwan's international standing. In fact, in the past 1 year, primarily because of how Taiwan responded to the COVID-19, we are seeing that Taiwan is getting immense support from the international community. And in the past 1 year, or in fact, in the past 6 months, what we're seeing that from appreciating Taiwan's COVID-19 response, the countries are now talking about Taiwan as an indispensable partner in the Indo-Pacific. So I believe that this has certainly changed Taiwan's international standing and how countries are viewing Taiwan. And of course, US support to Taiwan, we are seeing that it's getting a lot of support from the US. Taiwan has got bipartisan support from the US. But I think under Biden administration, the support for Taiwan is bigger in intensity and is the commitment is much more than how it was during Trump administration. I feel that Biden administration is not really looking to use Taiwan against China. It isn't into using Taiwan card against China. Its approach towards Taiwan is action oriented. Now we are seeing that there have been several statements about Taiwan, not just coming from the US administration, but also with US bilateral statement with countries such as Japan, Australia, G7. And we have seen several statements at different levels. So I think there is this commitment from the US side that's, in my opinion, I think there is this renewed interest and renewed commitment from the US side under Biden administration.
True. Now, and vis-a-vis India and Quad, there is a certain discomfiture that's been evinced by the CCP as far as Quad is concerned, and also sometimes they've raised objections to Indian politicians engaging directly with Taiwanese politicians with respect to trade, supply chain. Taiwan has shown interest in trying to help India make chips and semiconductors, and also manufacturing of phones. So all of these aspects, is this progressing positively in favor of Taiwan-India equations? How do you read that? And how would the Chinese react to this? I
think the quadrilateral security dialogue is viewed positively in Taiwan by the Taiwan leadership, and they have also expressed interest in being an important part of the Indo-Pacific region and also engage with the countries of the quadrilateral security dialogue. If I may say about India's approach or India's interaction with Taiwan, I don't see anything that's happening in the public domain. So India has been cautious with respect to talking about Taiwan openly. So I think China isn't really showing any discontent with respect to the interaction between Taiwan and India right now. And we have this TECC, the Taipei Economic and Cultural Center in India, and the mandate of this office is to have economic and cultural to engage India in the domain of culture and economy. So I think China doesn't really show any discontent when India and Taiwan are engaging each other with respect to commercial ties and with respect to education and culture.
Sana Hashmi, thank you. Good to speak with you, and we'll engage more often and look forward to you joining us more often as we talk Quad and the regional dynamics with respect to the expansionist in the midst that is China. Moving on, and in the light of China's continuous aggressive push towards its neighbors, IAF chief V.R. Chowdhury states that despite China deploying Chinese deployment in 3 air bases across eastern Ladakh, India is quite prepared to combat any expansionist tactics.
देशी पे सिचुएशन आपको पता है कि फिलहाल अभी भी चाइनीज एफओस PLAF की डिप्लॉयमेंट्स अभी भी है 3 एयर बेसिस में अक्रॉस ईस्टर्न लद्दाख. डिसएंगेजमेंट के बारे में बातचीत हो रही है. इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट काफी हद तक बढ़ी हुई है चीन की तरफ से, बट दिस इज नॉट गोइंग टू अफेक्ट द एयर ऑपरेशंस पर से. हमारी तरफ से हमारी पूरी तैयारी है.
Moving on, and there is an uneasy calm in Lakhimpur after the death of 8 people in clashes a day after MOS home Ajay Mishra and his son Ashish Mishra denied any involvement in the death of 4 farmers. Opposition parties have released a fresh video highlighting how Mishra's convoy allegedly mowed down protesting farmers. Now, CNN News 18 spoke exclusively to MOS home Ajay Kumar and his son Ashish Mishra. Both maintained that they were not present at the spot, claiming the involvement of Khalistani elements. Meanwhile, 2 Supreme Court lawyers have moved the apex court seeking a CBI probe into the entire incident.
हमारा सीधा और स्पष्ट मानना है, हमारे यहाँ कार्यक्रम था. कार्यक्रम को में मुख्य अतिथि को रिसीव करने के लिए कुछ गाड़ियां गई थी, जिसमें हमारे कार्यकर्ता थे. किसानों के बीच में शामिल कुछ उपद्रवी तत्वों ने पथराव किया, जिसके कारण हमारे कार्यकर्ताओं की हत्या हुई. उसके बाद में पीट करके ऐसी सब बातें आई. लेकिन चूंकि मैं या मेरा पुत्र आशीष मिश्रा हम वहां पर नहीं थे, हम लोग कार्यक्रम स्थल पर थे, इसलिए वहां कैसे हुआ, क्या हुआ, ये सारी घटनाएं जो है
जो वीडियो आया है, आप वीडियो देखिए.
वीडियो और जो वहाँ की सुनी जानकारी है उसके अनुसार हमने आप लोगों को लगातार बयान दिए हैं. जो आज की परिस्थिति है वो ये है कि FIR वगैरह दर्ज हो गई हैं. किसानों की मांगे और जो हमारे कार्यकर्ताओं को मुआवजा देने की मांग थी वो मान ली गई हैं. और मैं जिस तरह से हमारी जांच हो रही, न्यायिक जांच भी हो रही है, जो भी दोषी हैं और जिन्होंने साजिश रची है उनको किसी भी स्तर पर छोड़ा नहीं जाएगा. कड़े से कड़े दंड देने का.
एक FIR में आपके बेटे के नाम भी जो उन लोगों ने 3 हत्या का
FIR दर्ज कराना सबका अधिकार है. FIR दर्ज कराया है. इन्वेस्टिगेशन और एविडेंस के बाद सारी स्थितियां स्पष्ट हो जाएंगी. आप इन्वेस्टिगेशन का इंतजार करिए. जो है वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन का एविडेंस कलेक्शन का मामला है. जहां पर मैं था नहीं, मैं भी वीडियो देखकर या वहां के जो लोग बता रहे हैं उसी आधार पर कह पाऊंगा. लेकिन जिन लोगों की मृत्यु हुई है, जिनकी हत्या हुई है, वास्तव में वो गलत और दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है. किसान ऐसा कभी नहीं कर सकते. निश्चित रूप से इस आंदोलन में कुछ लोग ऐसे घुस गए हैं. खालिस्तान, बब्बर खालसा, कुछ लोग भिंडरावाले की तस्वीर लगाए थे. इस तरह के सारे चित्र वहाँ मिले हैं. तलवार, डंडे, कांटे, बल्लम, ऐसी सारी चीजें भी मिली हैं.
देखिए, सबसे पहले तो मैं ये कह देना चाहता हूँ कि मैं घटनास्थल पर था ही नहीं, और वहाँ पर हमारे दंगल का आयोजन होता है. वहाँ से करीब 4-4.5 किलोमीटर की दूरी पर हमारा गांव है बनवीरपुर. मैं सुबह से लेकर के कार्यक्रम के समापन तक का वहीं था, तो मैं वहाँ था ही नहीं.
आपके ऊपर FIR फिर कैसे हो गया? आप तो वहाँ थे नहीं.
अब ये तो मान लीजिए उन्होंने लिखाया है तो इसकी जांच होगी. अगर मान लीजिए उन्होंने लिखाया है तो ये तो गलत है ही है, लेकिन इसके बाद उसकी जांच भी होगी. जांच में इस दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी सामने आ जाएगा. जब हम कार्यक्रम स्थल पर थे, हम अपने दंगल का कार्यक्रम कर रहे थे, जब हम वहाँ थे ही नहीं तो काहे के लिए गिरफ्तार करें.
Pranshu Mishra joining us live from Lakhimpur. Pranshu, what's the situation on ground? There were some of the families who were still refusing to conduct the final rites of their deceased and their loved ones. Has that issue been sorted? What's the situation right now?
Yes, again there was an impasse this morning when the families refused to conduct the cremation, and they were quite angry at the fact that post-mortem report has not been shared with them. It is being leaked to media, and they were clearly not of the view that post-mortem reports have been manipulated. After that, senior leaders of the SKM, including Rakesh Tikat, came there. They also spoke to us, and finally the consensus that has been reached is that 3 cremations will take place. So 3 dead bodies are being cremated even as we speak. The 4th body, which is of a person from Nanpara in Bahraich, the neighboring district, there the post-mortem would be conducted again. Now government has agreed to this demand that a team of doctors comprising senior doctors from Delhi, also the KGMU and the other super specialty hospital in Lucknow, they would be brought to Bahraich, where the post-mortem would be conducted on the 4th dead body, about which the SKM leaders feel that there was probably the gunshots were responsible for his death. So this is how the impasse has been resolved. 3 cremations taking place, but for the 4th cremation we still have to wait. But farmers Anand are really very angry because they feel that there has been a breach of promise on the part of government. They are also annoyed at the fact that how the centre minister's son has been given a long rope. Instead of being arrested, he is being given all opportunity to talk to media, put forward his view. So this is clearly causing a lot of resentment. But if you talk about the overall law and order situation, the towns are normal. We have passed through different places, even gone to that particular village, but nearby the traffic movement is normal, the markets are open. So overall the city is calm, this district is calm. Internet services still remain quite dicey, quite fluctuating, so they have still not been restored. But overall the sense of calm prevails, but larger politics will continue on this entire issue.
True. And where is Ashish Mishra at this point? Is he still in Lakhimpur?
Yes, he is still in Lakhimpur. He is, shifting between his residence, the camp office in Lucknow. He is very much there. About Ajay Mishra, of course, we are hearing that probably, he would be later, probably tonight or tomorrow morning. He'll probably be moving back to Delhi, where he is likely to meet the top brass of the BJP, including the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and brief him about all these developments, his side of the story. So this is what, the plans of Ajay Mishra and his family members seem at the moment.
Right, Pranshu, stay on with us. Arunima is also with us on the phone line. Arunima was in Sitapur earlier and she's en route Lakhimpur. There are a lot of political parties and netas who are trying to swoop in, and there has been a lot of criticism coming their way, saying why are they doing this political tourism. But a lot of the politicians and netas and political parties refusing to let matters be, despite a consensus or truce being called between the administration and the locals.
Yes, Anand. So Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, for example, has dug in her heels. The administration tried to reason with her earlier in the day, asking her to go back to Lucknow and to Delhi. But she said that she is not going to move till the time she is allowed to go to Lakhimpur Kheri. Her contention is that why can't political leaders from the opposition spectrum go and empathize with the families of the victims, people who have lost their lives? What wrong can be possibly done by going and sympathizing with them? And she told the administration this, that if you're going to show me 144, that means that 5 people or more can't gather. I'm willing to go alone, or I'm just going to be accompanied by one more person. So just 2 of us, let us go. But the administration not willing to take the risk. They in fact say that her own security and safety could be threatened, but she's not relenting.
Well, there is another dynamic to this entire story. Arunima, thank you for your input. The situation remains tense in Lakhimpur Kheri as Congress workers continue to protest outside the PAC guest house in Sitapur, demanding the release of Priyanka Vadra. Congress protest supporters created mayhem by breaking barricades. Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel was also seen sitting on the ground outside the Lucknow airport after he was stopped from visiting Lakhimpur. Meanwhile, an Aam Aadmi Party delegation is on its way to Lakhimpur. A delegation of Trinamool Congress leaders met the families of slain farmers, while another delegation was stopped by cops.
ये वीडियो आपके सरकार के एक मंत्री के बेटे को किसानों को अपनी गाड़ी के नीचे कुचलते हुए दिखाता है। इस वीडियो को देखिए और इस देश को बताइए कि इस मंत्री को बर्खास्त क्यों नहीं किया गया है और इस लड़के को अभी तक गिरफ्तार क्यों नहीं किया गया है। मेरे जैसे विपक्ष के नेताओं को तो आपने हिरासत में बगैर किसी ऑर्डर, बगैर एफआईआर के रखा है। मैं जानना चाहती हूं कि ये आदमी आजाद क्यों है। आज जब आप आजादी के अमृत उत्सव की महफिल में मंच पर बैठे रहेंगे मोदी जी, आज भी इस देश की सुरक्षा सीमाओं पे किसानों के बेटे करते हैं। किसान महीनों से त्रस्त है, अपनी आवाज उठा रहा है और आप उसको नकार रहे हैं। मैं आपसे आग्रह करती हूँ, लखीमपुर आइए ना।
Continues at the Sitapur guest house where Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and others like MP Dipinder Hooda, Srinivasan Youth Congress chief and also other local leaders, they continue to be incarcerated inside. Now if you heard some of the slogans, they're all saying that she has been arrested. However, word coming in from inside the guest house is that there is no representation of the administration here. They have not heard from the administration at all for the last couple of hours or so, or maybe more. In the meanwhile, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has asked Prime Minister Modi to come to Lakhimpur Kheri. She's also put out that video in which you see a car mowing down farmers allegedly, and she has said that have you seen this video and what steps are being taken. So the opposition continues to build pressure while the administration is adamant on not allowing Priyanka Gandhi Vadra to go to Lakhimpur Kheri from here.
देश में जहां हम लोग सब अमृत महोत्सव मना रहे हैं, प्रधानमंत्री जी उस पर लगातार कार्यक्रम कर रहे हैं, दूसरी तरफ ये है कि यहाँ किसानों को रौंदा जा रहा है, उस पे लाठियां बरसाई जा रही है, उस पे गाड़ी चढ़ा के हत्या कर दी जा रही है, और वो और कोई नहीं बल्कि सत्ताधारी सत्ता में बैठे हुए केंद्रीय गृह राज्य मंत्री उसके लड़के और उसके दोस्तों ने इस प्रकार की घटना को कारित किया है। हमारे राष्ट्रीय महामंत्री प्रियंका गांधी जी को गिरफ्तार कर लिया जाता है, कांग्रेस के नेताओं को गिरफ्तार कर लिया जाता है, तो जो हत्यारे हैं वो खुले में घूम रहे हैं।
हमारे नेता प्रियंका गांधी जी को अरेस्ट किया हुआ है। दिस इज टू मच, ये बर्दाश्तनीय नहीं है। कहना चाहता हूं केंद्र सरकार को कि देश के नौजवान को दोबारा फिर लोकतंत्र देश में बहाल करने के लिए मजबूर मत करो कि वो भगत सिंह की तरफ देखें। मैं इसी मुद्दे के लिए जा रहा हूं, 6:30 बजे मेरी मीटिंग है, उसमें इस बात की भी चर्चा करूंगा।
Pallavi Ghosh, our senior editor, politics with us. Pallavi, interestingly, Charanjit Singh Chani talking about Priyanka Vadra just around the time he's in the national capital to look at an alternative Pradesh Congress Committee chief in Punjab. At the same time, Navjot Sidhu says he will march to Lakhimpur Kheri if Priyanka Vadra is not released.
Yes, very interesting, because when he says that the Punjab Congress is going to march there, obviously he's speaking as a PCC chief. And interestingly, Anand, he has resigned, according to himself, though the resignation has not been accepted. Well, the visit of Delhi is something which was pre-scheduled by the Chief Minister. They're going to be meeting the Home Minister, apart from talking about, say, internal security reasons and all, because of the farmers' protest. But now, of course, the latest issue of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra being detained or arrested, according to Congress party, is also likely to be raised. We are told that the two leaders who are accompanying him are also actually going to go with him to meet the Home Minister. And so likely that's also going to be one of the reasons why the two are accompanying him. But as far as the Punjab Congress situation is concerned, this is a state of flux which can continue for a very long time. Initially, the Congress leadership at the centre tried to send out a message that some of the points raised by Navjot Singh Sidhu was valid, and therefore we are talking about a kind of a core group for better synergy between the party and the government. With both the sides not budging as of now, it's a state of flux which I don't think can remain for too long.
Thank you for your inputs, Pallavi. Meanwhile, CNN News 18 has accessed the autopsy report of farmers and BJP workers who died during the violent clashes in Lakhimpur. The post-mortem report confirms the farmers died due to shock, excessive bleeding and hemorrhage, but no bullet injury was found on the bodies. Meanwhile, the autopsy report states that BJP workers and local journalists died due to thrashing by sticks. Also, multiple injury marks were found on their bodies, so they were clearly lynched. The Kisan leader, Rakesh Tikait, has said that families have agreed to cremate 3 out of the 4 bodies. He's also appealed for a second post-mortem of the 4th body of this farmer who hails from nearby district of Barech, which has now been agreed upon by the local authorities.
सर, क्या बात हुई है प्रशासन के बीच, क्या बात बनी है?
बातचीत ये हुई कि उसका दोबारा से पीएम उसका होगा। ठीक है जी, मैन उसी पे ही है अभी, और का तो दाह संस्कार हो रहा है अभी।
क्या डाउट था कि क्यों इस तरह की
डाउट? उस पर गोली मारी, गोली आई नहीं, तो डाउट तो पक्का है। हाँ।
तो अब आगे क्या फैसला
आगे का फैसला वहीं चला लग रहा है, वहीं करेंगे।
At the residence of Lovepreet Singh, the young farmer who was allegedly crushed under wheels, there is a sense of gloom. And the farming families and all the leaders, senior leaders of SKM, they are not ready to believe the post-mortem report which has, been released by the government and which says that people died of bruise injuries. So people are questioning post-mortem report. They are also saying that till the point in time they get the copy of post-mortem report, they examine the content of the post-mortem report, they will not be ready for the further cremation. So here at this particular place, senior leaders like Rakesh Tikait, he has arrived again. There is going to be a meeting of all these senior leaders who have come in from Punjab, who are from the SKM, and then the final call will be taken. So I'll try and get a sense from few of these people. सर, जिस तरीके से पूरा घटनाक्रम हुआ, कुछ तो बहुत सारे वीडियोस भी आ गए जिसमें दिख रहा है कि गाड़ी किस तरीके से चलाई गई लोगों के ऊपर। उसके बाद जो पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट आई है उसमें सरकार ये सजेस्ट करने की कोशिश कर रही है कि लोगों की घिसटने से मौत हुई है और उसमें किसी भी तरीके से गोली लगने की बात है, इस तरह की इंजरीज की बात वो नहीं कह रहे हैं। आपको क्या कहना है जो ये नई पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट आई है, क्या आपको कॉपी मिली है अभी तक?
किसी को कॉपी नहीं मिली। यहाँ पे अभी मीडिया के पास पहले कॉपी गई है, जो नेशनल मीडिया है उसके पास कॉपी गई है, कॉपी किसी को नहीं मिल सकी। जो इसको मतलब हादसा बताया जा रहा है, इससे हमको खेद है, क्योंकि जो वीडियो आई है, जो प्रत्यक्षदर्शियों ने देखा है, उसके अनुसार गाड़ी उस पर चढ़ाई गई है और गोली से मौत होने की कोई रिपोर्ट में मतलब नहीं है। अगर गोली की रिपोर्ट आ गई है पोस्टमार्टम की कॉपी दिखाने में सरकार को क्या दिक्कत है?
Short break here on the Nation at 5. Stay with us.